Welcome back out of halftime. It's 8-11. The Radicals are down. They're going to be looking to come back this half. They're going to start with a pull on what was the upwind side. There's not much wind right now, and the sun's come out, so it's finally getting a little bit warmer. So Wiseman pulls the disc, and the second half is underway. Wildfire center the disc immediately, working it between handlers. It looks like it's a sort of a man. Reset goes off all the way. Lou with the layout to save possession. Reset to another handler. And upfield to Nelson. Nelson's looks off the big throw. Finds an inside break. And floating disc is pulled in by Annan. That's a turnover. Karen's got the disc now. He throws a floating disc cross field, but can't be collected. It's another turnover. Double team is set. Thrower wants a foul. It's not going to get it. Resets and gets the disc right back. Throws it upfield. The fake draws a lot of contact. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty. They're going to be moving it up about 10 yards outside the end zone. Cross field, collected. There's a Wildfire player that looked wide open, but couldn't get the disc there. And a bobbled disc results in another turnover, so the Radicals are going to get it again on their own end zone line. Annan fakes a big upfield throw. Instead chooses an inside break to Wiseman. Wiseman, immediate reset to Annan. Annan crossfield to Brown. Brown upfield. The throw goes up. Looked like it might have been wide, and Wiseman can't come down with the disc. That was Petit Scantling with that throw. So the Wildfire will get it back for another attempt. A little contact drawn, another 10-yard penalty. And looking for the upfield cut, throws to space, but Petit Scantling says no. Gets the turnover. There's some sort of call. Oh, it's a timeout called. That's before the throw. The Radicals will collect themselves and see if they can't convert this initial break.
Gives us the opportunity to remind you that Yum Butter is clean fantastic butter that wows your taste buds, rocks your mouth, and dishes out the energy and nutrients your body needs to live the dream. Look for Asian Jazz peanut butter, dark chocolate delish, almond butter, and straight up PB at Roy Street Co-op, Metcalf's Market, Whole Foods, Hy-Vee, and online at yumbutter.com. Watch for the Yum Butter Challenge after the first quarter of every Madison Radicals home game. Radicals disc. Let's hear it, Radicals fans.
So the Radicals will start on their sideline about 10 yards outside their own end zone. Brown is double teamed immediately. Finds a little break through that two-person cup, and the Radicals are off to the races. Lots of quick passes, 5 yards or shorter. Trywise fakes a big huck, resets to Volkman. Upfield to Thibodeau, maybe? Nelson, big kick block. And the Wildfire will get another chance. Wildfire work it up, 20 yards out now. Reset. Volkman almost gets there in time. Schleicher puts on a double team, draws a little contact, but nothing is called, and then a turnover occurs. Brown to Thibodeau. Thibodeau with the layout catch up to Volkman. Volkman across field. But a travel is called. It's going to be a turnover. The Wildfire will get it back. Checked in, double teamed, but the upline cut was uncovered. Big huck goes up. 4 players tracking, and the Wildfire are going to come down with it. The Radicals have dug themselves in a little hole. It's 8-12. And the reset throw to Animal is Deed. The Wildfire are going to get another chance to increase their lead. The Radicals are in a man defense. Wildfire having trouble finding much. Thrower wants a foul there, but Brown's going to come in with the D, collect that disc. Karen floats a disc to Annan. Annan comes down with it across field to Brown. Brown with a big huck. It's going to trail to the center of the field. Glenn with a big bid attempt, almost comes down with it. But it falls down harmlessly to the ground. Horizontal stack, double team immediately, and the Wildfire are going to call a timeout.
UW Health Sports Medicine Clinic is a proud sponsor and provider of athletic training services for the Madison Radicals. At Research Park Clinics and the UW Health East Clinic here in Madison, the same physicians who treat the UW Badgers treat athletes of all ages with services including sports rehabilitation, athletic training, and personal training. Whether you are students or an intern or just want to improve your performance, UW Health Sports Medicine is here to meet your needs. UW Health Sports Medicine, remote medicine.
So there's 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter. It looks like another junk zone coming from the Radicals. And we're back in play. Big Scoober to the open receiver. Little contact. Pretty sure there was contact. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 10-yard penalty. Wildfire are going to walk it up. Immediate swing cross field. Looking for anything. Gets the reset. Travel called. So that's a turnover. Volkman starts with the disc. Throws it to Wilson. Wilson reset to Volkman. Reset to DeBile. Cross to Wiseman. Upfield to Volkman. Volkman comes down with that disc despite a fancy bid attempt. Big crossfield hammer. But Spyro can't come down with the disc to turnover. Wildfire working the disc slowly upfield. Fakes the reset, gets it to the other handler. Finds Kelly sideline. Up to Nelson. Up to Serdneski. There's contact, so he's going to center the disc right outside the end zone. Immediately double teamed. Disc space is called, requiring the players to come out off the handler. And he throws it to Geppert for the score. So it looks like there's an offsides call from the Wildfire. So they're going to have to back up 10 yards and throw it 10 yards within their own end zone. Repull goes off. It's high and floaty. Looks like it might be going out of bounds. So Annan will come to the middle of the field and start from there. Radicals start in a horizontal stack. Immediately up to Shrywise. Shrywise floats a pass. But Reeve comes in for the pile and collects the disc, throws it to Animal, who throws it back to Shrywise for the score. The crowd really liked that point. Lots of excitement. Reeve coming in with the great sky. 9-13. Wiseman with a blading pull. It's the Wildfire near midfield. On the far sideline, find an upline cut to somebody not defended. Draws a little bit of contact. He's going to get 10 yards. Finds an around throw. Continued all the way to the other side of the field. People are slipping on a little bit on this field. Finds another upline cut. Petit Scanling with a bid attempt. Can't come down with it. It's just 5 yards outside the end zone. He draws contact. He's going to get to center the disc right outside the end zone. The Wildfire lining up into a vertical stack. There's an end zone play. And the little dish dump to the crossfield side is good for another score.
Once a month at Rookies with the Cocoon Box Collective. We'd like to remind you that there are no rules currently in the American Ultimate Disc League against dancing and/or singing in the stand.
It's 9-14. Volkman collects, moves it up to Nelson. Nelson with a big huck immediately. Space, Schleicher is under it. Comes down with the grab. Resets to Brown. To Volkman. Up to Brown. Schleicher with a good cut, looked off. Up to Thibodeau, upfield to Pat Schreiwise. Schreiwise doesn't find another throw. Resets it to Thibodeau. Thibodeau across. But there is a man down before the throw goes off. I guess an injury was called. That's the end of the stoppage. Thibodeau resets to Brown immediately. Looking to Nelson. Nelson gets hand blocked. Continues. The disc floats a little bit to Schleicher. Schleicher lays out for the grab, but it's ruled down before he stops the rotations of the disc. Wildfire deep in their own end zone, working it between handlers. Still in their end zone, moving it. 0-point passes. He throws it upfield into a poach, and the Radicals are again right outside their end zone. Nelson throws to Volkman for the score.
The mid-connection, Thibodeau to Volkman, for Radicals.
It's 10-14. Radicals pulling the disc. There's a minute and a half left in the third quarter. Wildfire center the disc. Immediately double teamed. Scuber. Blue with the disc. Resets. Working the 5-yard passes. Crossfield. And finally for the first upfield throw. But Saradeski can't come corral that disc. And it's immediately double teamed. Looks like that might have been tipped a little bit, but it makes it all the way to Wiseman. All over across to Wilson. Wilson to Wiseman. Wiseman fakes a hammer. Draws some contact, nothing's called. Resets to DeBile. DeBile, upline to Wilson. Wilson with a hammer, crossfield to Rohowitz. Rohowitz is all alone, bobbles the catch, but comes down with it.
Less than 30 seconds in the quarter. Let's hear it, fans.
So you get the sense that the Radicals are stringing together a couple of points, and they might be on for a run. There are 30 seconds left in the quarter. Wiseman with a big pull to the corner of the end zone. It's a zone. Perhaps a good strategy to slow down the movement of the disc. There's not much time left. Throw goes off. Huck goes off to the end zone. Wiseman looks for the D, tips it, and it floats harmlessly out the back of the end zone. That's going to end the third quarter. Great bid attempt by both players. Defense wins on that one. The score is 11-14. This is the final period. Nelson centers to Brown. It's a set play to Schreiwise on the break side. I guess that's the force side. Good upline throw from Brown to Schleicher. Schleicher up to Schreiwise. Schreiwise looks off the upfield cut, resets to Brown. Brown looks to Karen, looks him off, looks for something, finds Nelson on a high stall count. Nelson resets to Karen. Karen bobbles it, but comes down with the disc. Up to Schreiwise, reset to Karen. Karen fakes off Nelson, as well as Reef. Looks for something, throws a hammer to the end zone, but there are no receivers. The Radicals come out in their 2-4-1 zone, looks like. The two chasing the disc and looking to double team. Wildfire moving it quickly between handlers, but not getting many yards. They've had a lot of success in the past working it up the lines. But now they look more clustered. They get a reset to another handler. Fakes a hammer. Resets it. Looking for anything and finds a reset to the handler. Big blade across field. There are two radicals there. Schreiweiss comes down with the D. Immediate hammer from Nelson to Schreiweiss. Schreiweiss with the bookends comes down with the score. Radicals 12, Wildfire 14. Pull goes up. The Wildfire O-line is in. The Radicals are coming out in their junk. It seems that they may have made some good adjustments at halftime to make it more challenging to move this disc upfield. Nice break throw through the two-handler, or the two-man cup. I think we need a special name for this two-man double-teaming cup. You don't get to see this in Club Ultimate, but we're seeing it an awful lot in the UDL. Wildfire have moved it past the underfield players, but the disc is bobbled, and it's a turnover. The Radicals going to get a chance to cut the lead down to 1. Annan throws a big huck to cross field, but it's Deed. Wildfire going to get it back. Wildfire working it well with the 5-yard passes, a blade up line. That's what's been successful for them in the past. And they're continuing to do it. Just outside the end zone, throws completed but not called in. Cross and the 2-yard dish in for the score. Pull goes off. It's floating, it's increasing altitude, and now finally coming down. Karen collects the disc, centers to Brown. Finds a break to Thibodeau. Reset to Karen. Karen to Brown. Brown to Thibodeau, taking advantage of the Wildfire play who slipped. Refakes a big huck, draws some contact, but is called instead for a travel. It's going to be a turnover. Brown encouraging his defense to set. Double team is in place. Big inside break cross field to break the junk. And now they're doing a give and go. There's contact made. That's 10 yards. It's going to be right outside the Radicals' end zone. Centers the disc. And another 2-yard dish for the score.
Hey fans, don't forget to like the Madison Radicals on Facebook. You'll get updates from the team, links to watch streaming video, highlights and more. Facebook.com/Madison Radicals. That's Facebook.com/Madison Radicals. Keep track of what the Radicals are up to, buy tickets to future games, and visit the Radicals gear shop at radicalsultimate.com. Today is Mother's Day. You can buy Mom a great gift over in the corner of the stadium. They've got t-shirts, hats, hoodies, and discs. And don't forget that Father's Day is coming up. As much as Mom loves trucker hats, dads love hoodies.
So the Wildfire pull. Annan collects, moves it upfield to Brown. Brown with initial under, but Glenn gets the upfield cut. Throws a huck to Swain. Swain reads it well. He's just outside the end zone. Resets to Brown. Brown across to Brown. To Glenn. Glenn looking for a reset. Gets it to Brown. Handler Brown to Animal. Tom Annan. Annan resets to Brown. Crossfield to Volkman. Volkman finds the upfield throw to Brown. Brown floats a disc to the corner of the end zone. Wiseman collects for the score. So we're nearing the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. Radicals are down 13-16. They're coming out in a zone. Wildfire happy to move it between handlers. Big hammer cross field and cross for yardage. Near midfield now. Reset to handler. Kolonek around to Lou. Around. Nelson's popping. He's been popping very effectively. Scuber crossfield to Geppert. Geppert hammers back crossfield. Upfield to the sideline. And then a little give and go. Now they're at midfield. Fire is called. It's not clear that all of the team hears it. And the Wildfire working it. Big huck goes up to the end zone. Wiseman tracks it, misreads, but Petit Scantling gets in at the tail end for the D. It's a horizontal stack. And Wiseman calls a timeout.
we hope to see you all back here next Saturday night, May 18th. And as your Madison Radicals welcome the Detroit Mechanics to Breeze Stevens Field. The following week, May 24th, the Minnesota Wind Shield return on Friday night, May 24th. Get your tickets online today at radicalsultimate.com.
So Radicals have brought in their O-line. They're just under 5 minutes remaining. Brown will start with disc. Finds a breakthrough to Schleicher. Schleicher up to Schreiwise. Immediately reset to Brown. Brown fakes a big huck. Finds an under back to Schleicher. Schleicher goes to Brown, collected by Glenn. Up to Schreiwise, fakes a huck. Moves to the middle of the field to Glenn. Glenn throws a laser to Schleicher, who's called just outside the end zone. Resets to Schreiwise. Schreiwise to Brown. To Wiseman. To Schreiwise with an athletic maneuver. Fakes out his defender and throws into Glenn for the score. This is turning out to be a pretty close game. It's 14-16, just under 4 minutes remaining.
Let's hear fans.
The Wildfire, with their starting O-line, looking to convert this, increase their lead, get a little margin. Centered to Hughes Strange. Across to Kolonek. Kolonek looking for anything. Finds Serdneski. It looks like a double team, but looking backwards. Travel is called. Radicals will get the disc. Look to bring it within one. Immediately to Brown. That's a foul. 10 yards. 10 yards gain. He was outside of 10 yards, so he gets to bring it up directly straight 10 yards. He doesn't get to center it. Throws a hammer out the back of the end zone. He wants it back. He'll get his chance. Radicals are coming back in their zone defense. A 2-4-1. Big hammer across the field. Collected on the sideline. Reset to a handler. Hammer cross field. Big D! That's Wilson with the big D, looking for bookends. DeBal can't connect. back in their zone, looking for a third turn. They're deep in their own end zone. Fakes a big huck, but resets it. Low round break. Reset. To Nelson. The foul, drawing a lot of contact from the markers. He's going to get 10 yards. He'll be still inside his own end zone. Resets it immediately to Lou. Crossfield. Gets Hugh Strange with the disc. One more to the very edge of the sideline. Up to Kolinek. Blady Huck goes off. Travel's called though. It's going to be a turnover where the throw went off. There's 57 seconds left. Radicals still need 2 scores. And the inside breakthrough is hand blocked. Big hammer crossfield. Wilson gets up. Big D. Not a whole lot of time left. 2 scores still necessary. Scuba throw across to Wilson. Back to Annan. Annan blades it to the end zone for the score. That's Weber. All right, guys. We've got a really good game. It's 23 seconds left. Radicals have brought it within 1.
Only 3 seconds on the clock, Radicals fans. Your team is down 1. This is no time to be sitting. Let's go. On your feet. Let's hear it.
So the pull goes off. The stands are full of standing people. And it looks like the Wildfire are looking to keep the disc, just move it with short passes, drawing some contact, throws a handful of a few yard throws, and there's a timeout called. I'm not sure how much time there is left. 7 seconds. That's exactly the amount of time for one stall. So Wildfire will check it back in. There's 7 seconds remaining. 2 Radical players are sitting very deep. double team on the thrower, 2 players at midfield, and 1 covering the dumps. The referees are conferring. It's not clear what's going on. The referees want 7 seconds on the clock. Big huck goes up.
Thanks for coming out on Mother's Day, Radicals.
And that's the game.